So this is this is how you temp an oven.
Okay.
You go like this. 1, 2, 3. So this oven is actually a little cold right now, so I could have probably gone about 4 or 5 seconds.
So it's just how much you can stand it kind of a thing.
Yeah, and if you can't make it to 3, your oven's ready.
Let's start, as they say at the beginning.
Sure.
Where did you first start with pizza?
Well, I mean, I started as a kid. I grew up in a family of cooks.
Mm-hmm.
So I started young, but my first job was in Jake's Pizza when I was 14 years old.
Okay.
And I was actually bagging groceries at Jewel.
No kidding.
And I did it for about a month. I was 14 years old, and I thought, this is the worst job ever. And there was a pizza place right across the street. And I just thought, I bet you making pizzas would be a lot cooler than bagging groceries. So I started there, and I ended up staying there for about 5 years until I went away to college.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I just started, washing dishes and then on the roller and just kind of moved my way up and then was managing the store. But by 15 years old, I knew that's exactly what I wanted to do, was get into the pizza industry. I mean, it just was in my blood. I loved it.
So we work at Jake's. We know now what we want to do. I assume right to culinary school, or was there some schooling in between?
Actually, so I knew exactly what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I love this industry. I loved everything about it. And the first guy that I worked for, he had been in the construction industry his whole life, and put his money into his restaurants and lost his restaurants eventually.
Okay.
Second restaurant that I worked for wasn't a pizza restaurant. Same thing. Guy, worked his whole career, put his money in. So my first 2 jobs working at these places, I saw the owners lose everything, and I said to myself, I do not want in this industry at all. And so I actually went to school for finance and accounting, and it always was in the back of my head. I knew this is what I wanted to do, but I was just scared to make the leap.
Yeah.
And then just after long talks, decided to go back to culinary school. So after college, went back to culinary school, and I've been in ever since. And then after that, I was ready to do, or wanting to do my own restaurant, but not quite ready.
Yeah.
So I took a job with a food distributor, and that's actually how I met my partner.
Oh, no kidding.
So she was my customer a couple of years ago.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And you guys just got talking about the things you wanted to do over time.
Well, yeah, I mean, we became friends, with that, customer relationship. And so I knew her for about a year.
Mm-hmm.
And, she knew my background, my passion for the pizza industry and wanting to, open up my own place. And this building came about, which I didn't know at the time. And so I walk in one day, a normal day of work, and she shuts the door and she's like, I have to talk to you. And I'm thinking, is there a problem with the truck? Is there, what's going on? And so she tells me about this idea, and she's like, what do you think? And so it started, small conversations, maybe getting involved a little bit. And through the course of the next year, that June, actually on my birthday, June 1st, I left my job and dove head in first, and we started building this place up. It took us 4 months.
So we're in our own place.
Mm-hmm.
How do you start to build your pizzas? You've had experience built with a bunch of different doughs, a bunch of different styles. Where do you land on Slyce's style, and what style might that be?
First, my partner came to me, and she's just like, I want to do a coal-fired pizza place.
Yeah.
And so I said, okay. And so I started looking into it, and we wanted to do something different.
Yeah.
She wanted to do coal fire, and that was about the only kind of guideline that we had. And so I just started researching a little bit. And our style, I would say, some people refer to our pizza as Neapolitan. We are not Neapolitan pizza.
Yeah.
I love Neapolitan pizza, but that's not what we are. We're a traditional American pizza. And so with the coal and doing what we wanted to do, that's one of the reasons, was getting that traditional American style. And when the Italians came over to America for the first time, they were using wood over in Italy. But when they got to America, coal was abundant.
Yeah.
And so that's why they started using coal. So that's kind of the the heritage of the American pie, where you go back to New York and it's all the old, coal burning
Absolutely.
ovens.
The foundation of American pizza 100% rests in coal. Do you think we're in the middle maybe of a pizza revolution along those lines, where people not only are more accepting of a pie that certainly has had more time and more care put into it, but willing to travel, willing to almost go on a safari, go on a search for that good pie, rather than maybe a few years ago it was just, you have your neighborhood haunts and
Definitely.
that's kind of about it.
Absolutely. I definitely think things are changing, not only in the pizza industry, but the food industry as well. I mean, never before have consumers been so educated.
Yeah.
People know food. People are baking pizzas at home. 15 years ago, who do you knew that was baking their own pizza at home?
Maybe a grandmother.
Exactly,
or two.
exactly.
That was it.
And now you see pizza ovens in backyards, and for some reason, people love pizza, and they're serious about their pizza.
Yeah.
And they don't mind traveling for it. They don't mind paying for it, and people are looking for. The other thing too, I think, with the economy and what has happened, instead of people maybe going out and buying a $40 or $50 steak dinner, they're not doing that anymore. But people still want to splurge, and so instead of splurging on maybe a $40 or $50 steak dinner, they're going to splurge and get a little bit better of a pizza.
Yeah.
Something that just the ingredients are there, and spend the time and energy to get there. So,
what do you think, as a memorable pizza maker in Chicago, what do you think of Chicago's mark on the pizza industry on the whole?
Well, I love Chicago pizza.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. I grew up on it. I've always been a fan of it. You can't compare when people say, I like this style better than this style. It's like comparing a hamburger to a chicken sandwich. I mean, they're just different. So deep dish, I think it's amazing, what Chicago has done. I mean, truly, it's the most unique pizza out there as far as branching off from, the origins of pizza. So, Giorgio's, which is one of my favorite authentic deep dish Chicago-style deep dish places, they do a great job. But no, I love it. I mean, and not only, the deep dish, but the Chicago-style thin crust, or the tavern pizza, as some people refer to it. I love it. It's great. I still will go to some of my favorite places and grab a pie just to, I could never eat just one kind of pizza.
One last question.
Sure.
If you had to think of maybe your pizza philosophy, what do you think that might be?
Well, my pizza philosophy is every time you make a pizza, make the absolute best pizza that you can make. Use the best ingredients, and you need to put care and time into every pizza, and it makes a big difference. Just learning doughs. I mean, biggest thing, obviously, is the dough. If you don't have a good dough, you're not going to have a good pizza.
Sure.
So learning dough obviously is important, and that just comes with experience and working with doughs and making mistakes and making more mistakes, and that's when you learn. But it's the ingredients. If you really start with good ingredients, it's hard to end up with a bad end product.
Yeah.
And that's where I think people, they start looking at the dollars as opposed to the product, and that's where you start getting yourself in trouble.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we did too. Is when I was talking about how our business model worked, was we just figured this is the pizza that we want to make, and then we'll have to figure out whatever we have to charge, so we can stay in business, but we're not cutting corners.
Oh, it's an excellent philosophy, and it's certainly worked out, well for you, extremely well for you. Well, it has really been a pleasure to get to chat with you. Slyce was where I came for my birthday last year to celebrate, and it's great to meet the guy behind the pizza. Gary, thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thanks,
I appreciate
Brent.
it.